Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. You're watching JCTV on the Xbox One console. This is a No Man's Land episode number 3. Thanks for stopping by, folks. Alright, so we've spread some lime on our field here, and we've spread lime on the field out back as well. Now, what I was thinking was the only thing that can attract more people back to No Man's Land is more crops. If we have more crops and more places to sell crops, then that will entice more farmers to come back, rebuild their farms, and then we can have a whole community. So I think we're going to take down all those trees behind our house, behind our cabin and our shed there, and we're going to put another field right there. So let's have a little walk back there right now. We will go through the dense forest here. Right here looks like a good spot to put a field, but it is not large enough to put a field. So we're going to take down some trees. We're going to go from just about here. We're going to take the trees down 2 or 3 inches. Or not 2 or 3 inches, sorry. 2 or 3 trees in. And then we're going to go all the way down to the edge of the property line. These trees are pretty big, and we do have the front loading attachment with the log fork, so they should be okay to move. Let's see here. We don't want to go too far back. There's the edge of our cabin, and the equipment shed extends back past the cabin a few feet, so we want to make sure that we don't get in the way of the equipment shed. I would like a little bit of shade there in the summertime, just so that the equipment doesn't get too hot or weathered, or that really old wood on the equipment shed doesn't get any more rotted than it is already. I was looking at putting the field, another crop field over here, but it's really hilly, and I don't like hilly. I like the crop fields to be nice and flat. So we've got a lot of trees here, and we can actually sell all these trees and all this lumber to the wood chip maker that's over here on the side of our farm. So let's jump in our tractor over here. We'll attach the front loading attachment, and we'll start making room for all of this lumber that's going to be coming into our farm. And what I mean, of course, by making room, we've already got some logs and some lumber over there by the wood chip maker. So we're going to put those through the chipper, make some room, because there's going to be a lot of logs coming through here. And then we'll see if we can get a few extra $1,000. And it'll also give us an indication as to how much all of that lumber in that forest is actually worth. So we can probably buy a small fertilizer sprayer or a fertilizer spreader after we sell all of these logs. Let's try and get one of these logs into the wood chipper with the log fork without having to cut it into small pieces and then put it in there by hand. We should be able to pick it up in the forks here and just rest it on the edge of the wood chipper, and it should auto feed all the way through and then sell our lumber for us, so that we don't have to painstakingly cut all of these logs into 3 or 4 foot lengths and then hand bomb them into the wood chipper. Let's see if this works. This should work. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. I think I may have to go by a weight, I think. Some of those trees back there behind our cabin are pretty big, so I don't think I'll be able to lift them, and I don't want to waste all this time chopping trees in half. I'd like to take them in full and just put them right through the wood chipper, so that way we can skip a step or two. Let's see if this works. I think we just have to line it up so it goes in straight. That's not too straight. We could. There we go. This might be a good cash making experience for us, because there is a lot of trees around here. Just depends on how much money we get from each one of these logs. So we'll just set this down here, and it should just auto feed right into the wood chipper. I think we might have to get a little closer. There we go. Let's try this. So we're sitting at $15,000, and some of those fertilizer spreaders or sprayers are fairly expensive, so I'm thinking we need a lot of cash. That should be good. Alright, let's see if we can just open up the log fork. No, it won't feed right off the forks, so we're going to have to put it down. There we go. Oh, it's going. Hey, look at that. Alright, we didn't have to cut the log into manageable pieces. The money's going up. Let's see, what do we get for this one log? There we go, 1,400 bucks. So 1,400 bucks a log. There is roughly $5,000 sitting right here. So let's go and feed the rest of these logs into the chipper, shall we? And then we'll have lots of extra room for all that lumber that's got to come over here. All right, and while we are feeding the logs through the wood chipper, take a quick minute, folks, if you don't mind. If you have not done so already, check out that subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of your video. Click that subscribe button for me. That would be greatly appreciated. Or, you know, you can watch and not subscribe. It really makes no difference. It's up to you. And then after you're done that, after you're done checking out the subscribe button and how that works, drop a like on the video if you are enjoying the content. Go back and watch some previous episodes to see how we got here. And then share the video with all of your friends, either on Twitter or Facebook, wherever. Speaking of Twitter and Facebook, come and follow us on all of our social media campaigns. You can find all of those links to the description. You can find all of those links in the description of the video. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, Patreon. There's even a PayPal link there if you'd like to send a donation. That'd be greatly appreciated. Just a reminder, folks, donations are obviously never expected, but always appreciated. There's also a new link there from sprizzy.com if you're looking to grow your own personal YouTube channel and you're kind of small and you're looking for exposure. Check out sprizzy.com for all of your YouTube needs. All right, then after you're done that, go and check out the featured channel section of my YouTube channel. You'll see 4 excellent farming simulator YouTubers there. Mr. Least Square Gaming, Deuce MS, Carl Johnson Gaming, and Mr. Crazy Simulator. Go and check out those 4 gentlemen. Subscribe to their channels, like and share their videos, and then ring their notification bells as well so you don't want to miss anything coming out of those 4 channels. You won't be disappointed. Alright, so we've got 3 more logs to put through the chipper here. Let's get that done really quickly, shall we? And here's the last log going into the chipper. We're at $20,000. This is the 5th log that was laying on the ground there when we first got to the farm. Not sure why they were still sitting there. It's just free money. Maybe they didn't have enough time to put them through the chipper and sell them before they went bankrupt or belly up, or decided to leave no man's land for no particular reason. But now we're sitting at $22,200, and we've still got a lot of lumber back here to go through. Let's take a little drive back here. We've got the tractor, the front loading attachment, and the log fork, and of course our trusty chainsaw. Now what we have to do is pick a line and then cut all the trees down on the side of that line, so that we can have a nice straight line lush forest back here. Let's see, this one here is the first one to go, and we do not have access to this land. Oh yeah, so this tree is right on the property line of our farm, and it won't let us cut it down. Alright, that's fine. We'll go to this one. Let's chop this one down. So we'll get down as close to the ground as possible. We do have the stump cutter, so we're going to have to come back later on and grind down all of these stumps before we plow our field, of course. Let's just cut off all the branches. Let's do this really quickly. This may or may not take quite a long time because there's a lot of trees back here. And I think we're going to have to just cut these logs in half before we truck them over to the wood chipper. I don't think my tractor is strong enough to carry all of these in one piece. So I think we're going to have to cut them in half. Let's just see here. Let's test this out. Can we lift this log? Probably not, but let's see for argument's sake anyway. Can we lift this log in one shot all the way back to the front of the farm? This will give us a good indication as to what our tractor can and can't do in terms of lifting power and weight. Let's try and find the center of gravity here. Of course, the one end is thicker than the other end, so the center of gravity will not be directly in the center. The center point will be somewhere near the end of the log. That's just how the weight is distributed. Let's see if this works. Well, the log moves. That's a good sign. Oh. Nope, we cannot drive like that, especially in a rear-wheel drive tractor. That's not going to help. So we're going to have to go and get a weight, I think, unless we just chop these in half. But if we chop them in half, then that's going to double the amount of trips that we need to take. And this tree fell on not our property, so now we have to move it. This is a little bit of a workaround. If your tree falls off of your property line and it won't let you cut it in half, just push it back onto your own property line, like so. And there we go. So now we should be able to cut this tree in half. Let's see if this works. Aha, I beat you, Mr. Property Line. There we go. So now what we have to do is pick up these two pieces and bring them to the front of the farm, and then chop down all the rest of these trees. Well, not all of them, to a certain point. Maybe 20 or 25 trees will get chopped down. Let's turn on the light here so we can see what we're doing. There we go. Let's try and move this. Let's just find the center of this log, make it easier to transport. There we go. And this should take the rest of the afternoon. Well, we don't have anything else to do. We're waiting for crops to grow. There we go. Well, that's a good size. That's about the same size as the ones we had previously when we first started out. But it's probably a good idea to go and buy a weight anyway, just so we don't have to cut some certain trees in half. We can just bring them back in full. Now, let's see here. Okay, so let's see how much we can get for one of these trees here. Let's see how much this log is worth. Let's see if they're worth the same amount of money of the logs that were already here when we got here. And that way we can sort of gauge just about how much money this is going to be versus how much money this is going to cost. Well, it's really only going to cost fuel and time. There we go. Let's see. We just have to lower the forks a little bit, and then it should suck it right into the wood chipper. There it goes. Easy enough. Cut down a tree, put it in the chipper. Alright, money's going up. So we went from 22,200 to, what is the final tally on this one log? This one tree. 23,006. Alright, so just about 1,400 bucks a log, and that's roughly a 7 to 8 foot length. So we've got to do the remaining logs now. We've got to truck back all of the logs, and then, well, I think we're just going to pile them up. We're not going to put them through the chipper one by one. We may need to use this lumber to build other things, maybe fences or sheds or what have you. So it doesn't make sense just to chip them all into wood chips right now. A good idea would be to save some of them, so that maybe if another farmer comes back and they need to build a cabin or something, then we can sell them some lumber, or we can donate some lumber. So that that's a good idea. We can donate all of this lumber to someone else, so that they can build a cabin or a shed and get their operation up and running for little to no cost. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to chop down all of these trees, bring all the lumber back over here, and I think we're just going to set them all down one by one over here by the water tank. Or no, we're going to put this one through too. Let's see if size matters. Can we put these through the chipper, or do we have to cut them down? There we go. Let's try. Hopefully this will go through the chipper as is, and then we don't have to move it around or cut it into smaller pieces, because we don't want to spend any more time doing this than we have to. This is going to be a lot of work. Alright, lower the forks, and remove the forks, and there it goes. It's being sucked into the chipper. That's fantastic. Alright, it's going to take the whole thing. Money's going up. That means we're being paid for the wood chips. I'll take the whole thing. There we go. Perfect. No more little pieces of lumber lying around. All we have to do is throw it in the chipper. And there we go. So we're not getting paid for the smaller end pieces, just the larger pieces. But there's another $1,400, or $1,142. So anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500, let's say, per tree. And there's a lot of trees over here. All right, looks like we got a lot of work ahead of us here. All right, let's just check out the other side of the forest here out near the road. This is where we kind of want to go, right up to the edge of the shed here. I want to leave maybe 1 or 2 trees behind the shed to provide some shade for the equipment and that rotting wood, so that we don't have to replace that anytime soon. Although that should be replaced at some point. Let's just go in a straight line here. And right about here, I'm guessing, is a good spot to cut to. That gives us probably about 15 to 20 trees. That should be a good amount. Let's see here. Alright, so a nice straight line, cut right across. So this tree's going to go, and this tree and everything to the left of this tree is going to go. Alright, so we're going to start with this one, and then we're going to cut in a straight line all the way across. Let's get this tree out of the way. We'll worry about filing down all the stumps later. We'll cut down all the trees, move all the wood, cut off all the branches. We'll stockpile all this lumber over by the water tank by the wood chipper so that it's out of the way. And then we'll worry about grinding down the stumps later on. Right, so we'll just trim off all of the excess branches here. I don't know if we have to trim these branches off. I guess it's easier just to transport the logs without them on there. We could, I guess in theory, just throw them through the chipper with the branches on it, but then it would just be really, really messy. We'd have to clean it up afterwards anyway, so it just makes sense to do it now. Alright, there we go. Let's chop this in half. That should be easy to pick up. It's off the ground. There we go. Let's grab another tree here. We can chop down another one. This one is right on the edge, and this is pretty big. This is going to be a big one. Alright. Let's get this one out of the way. Timber. Perfect. I guess there's no one really around to warn. Is that why they yelled timber? So everyone around knows that there's a tree falling? Well, we're the only ones here, so I guess it doesn't matter. But you never know. Better safe than sorry. There might be some wildlife walking around here. Here we go. There's another one. Done. Let's chop it in half. There we go. Perfect. And this is the last tree. We've cut down all of the trees and moved them now. This is the last of the trees. And this is the one right by the road. It's fairly small, and it's not going to take that much to move it. We should be able to pick it up by hand and just walk it over to the tractor instead of driving all the way over here to get it. Then all we have to do is grind down all of the stumps, and then we can start plowing our field. And we just have to figure out what to plant there. So we've already got the 2 fields of soybeans. I don't think we need another field of soybeans. We can probably get another crop planted, maybe wheat or barley or oats. Who knows? Maybe something that produces bales of some kind, straw bales, something that we can sell. Maybe something other farmers can use. Or maybe if we had straw bales of some kind, it would entice a bale purchaser to come back. Who knows? It's good to have a wide variety of things when you're trying to rebuild the town. There's no sense in everyone coming back just for soybeans. So, you know, it's good to have a big variety. Oh, there's still a branch attached there. Let's get rid of this real quick. There we go. See a branch. And let's bring this last log over to the lumber pile, which you'll see in a minute has grown quite significantly. There is a lot, and I mean a lot of lumber here that we either need to donate, sell, or turn into wood chips. And you can see that while we were cutting down the forest there, our soybeans have grown. They're now in the first stage of growing, which is good. And we are one step closer to harvesting. This is our humongous pile of wood. Check this out. At $1,400 a log, or anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500 a log, there's a lot of money sitting right here. A lot of money. So this is the result of chopping down all of those trees in the back. Now all we have to do is grind down the stumps. The smaller pieces, like the end pieces of the lumber, we can just hand load into the chipper. But the larger pieces, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but we did have to buy a weight. And it's right there on the back of the tractor. We did almost tip over off camera, so it just made sense. We spent $900 on a weight. Because I think we will be moving a lot more trees around as things progress and life goes on. We will have to make some room, or maybe another farmer will need some trees cut down. Who knows? But we'll have to get to that at some point. So it just made good sense to purchase a weight, and we'll just stick that here. We don't need that on the tractor right now. Let's find the stump cutter, and we'll go grind down some stumps, and then we will start plowing the field after this is done. There's the stump cutter right there. That's right, we left it behind the workshop. So let's go and pick that up, and we'll go and grind down some tree stumps. Alright, there's a lot of tree stumps back there. We'll show you the first couple, but it's all pretty self-explanatory. You really just turn the stump cutter on and drive over top of them. There we go. We'll just turn the light on so that we can see them all. And this is starting to take shape. So we've got almost a clear space back here. We've just got to grind down these stumps, and then we can plow the field. There's a big stump right there, so let's turn this on. Turn on the stump cutter, and then basically you just drive over the stump until you see the sawdust appear and the stump disappear, then you're done. But then you've got to do all of these stumps. So there's another one right there. Gone. And there's another big one right there. Let's get that one. Some stumps you may have to raise or lower the stump cutter, and then you'll have to cut them twice because that only takes off so much. Like that one there, just took off the top layer of that stump. We'll lower it, and we'll take down the bottom layer of that stump. And then there we go. Alright, so we're just going to drive around the back area here, try and get rid of all of these stumps, and then we can start plowing our field. Alright, and this is the last stump. This was the last tree that we cut down. This is the last stump that we need to remove, and then we can put the stump cutter back, grab the plow, and start carving out a new crop field. And then maybe in the next episode we'll figure out what to plant here or what to seed. It's going to have to be something that we can utilize our current equipment with. The harvester, obviously, with the header that we have, we can only plant, we can only seed grain crops. So that sort of limits us. We can't do corn or sunflowers. We don't even have a seeder that would plant corn and sunflowers, so that we're at the mercy of what our equipment can handle until we can rustle up some more cash and lease or buy some different equipment. Let's stick this stump cutter right here in between the cabin and the shed. We're not going to need it for a while, so let's keep it out of the way. Right there looks good. Let's swing the tractor around. We'll grab the plow, and we will start plowing our field. There we go. I'm guessing as fields get bigger, or if someone needs to get a new field, then we're going to have to get a bigger plow. But for now, this one will do just fine. If any other farmers want to come back and create their own field, then they're more than welcome to use any equipment that we have in order to get up and running. I'm not opposed to that at all. any help I can give any other farmer that wants to come back to no man's land to start a life or continue their life that was here before, then I'm going to help them do that sight unseen. It's just what farmers do. It's part of the farmer code. If you need something, I'm more than happy to let you borrow it or even sell it to you. But we'll figure that all out later. All right, so let's carve out our field. Now, we do have this slightly annoying rock formation right here, so we're at the mercy of that because we don't have the equipment to blow that up or get rid of it. So we're going to come out as close to the road as we can, as close to this rock formation as we can, and that's where our first line is going to be. And we want to try and line it up straight with the GPS. Okay, that looks good right there. And then we'll just go right along the road line. It's not going to be completely rectangular or completely straight, but it'll be a field nonetheless. And then we'll be able to plant more crops here. Maybe in the next episode we'll be able to plant more crops once we tend to the soybeans that are growing. So let's look at the side view here real quick to see how far down we want to go. That looks just about good right there, right along the tree line. We want to make sure that the equipment will not be impeded by the existing trees, or else we're going to have to cut another one down. And then we're just going to go straight across the tree line. Let's do that and try and get this as straight as possible, just so that if we do need to hire a worker of some kind or need to employ someone to come and do this for us, then they'll get it done with no problems. Just drive straight across, dig up all the weeds and all the flowers, and I don't even think those are flowers, I think they're just weeds. There we go, that's good. That's close to the back of the shed, and we still got some shade from those trees that we left. And we're going to come straight out to here. Our property line ends at the road, so let's try and get as close to the end of the road as possible. There we go, that looks good. And we shouldn't be able to go any further than that. And already you can tell it's not completely rectangular just from the slope of the road. The road is not straight, so the field is not going to be straight because we're going to follow the line of the road. All right, let's try and line this up just so that we don't have any odd shapes. I don't like odd shapes. There we go. Let's just back up straight as we can, and we'll get as close to the road as possible. Oh, too far. There we go, that looks good. And this will be the far side of the field. Perfect, looks good. It's going to line up. Yay, we did it. All right, square corners. I like it. All right, and then we'll just come back up this way. And then we'll do this side of the rectangle. And we'll just drive back towards the rock formation. And this is not going to be completely straight, but we'll do our best to follow the side of the road. Here we go. As much crops as possible is good. So this will be our third field, and I think 3 fields is good. We can have 1 crop in each field. Well, we've got 2 fields of soybeans right now, but that's just to generate some cash because people are paying the most for soybeans. The garden center that we opened up is paying a lot for soybeans, as well as the first sell point there, the shop gas station sell point. There we go. So let's look at what our field looks like here. There it is. Well, that's a nice size field. All right. Now we just need to fill in the center. We're going to plow up all of that grass. And then I think that will be it for today. It is 1:27 or 13:27 if you're familiar with military time. It's 27 minutes after 1. We'll probably due for some lunch, and I think this is about all we can do today. Like I said, there's no one else around here. There's nothing else to do. We're going to continue plowing this field, and then we're just going to wait for our soybeans to grow. And then hopefully we can make contact with someone soon that wants to come back to no man's land, that needs some help or doesn't need help, or just another farmer in the area that can start generating some revenue, and then we can get this town up and running again. All right, and fast forwarding a little bit, this is the end of the plowing that we need to do. There we go. So now our field is complete. Well, not complete, it's plowed. Just this one little spot of grass, and then we just need to refill the seeder and then seed the field. But that is going to wrap it up for today, folks. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this video. You've watched Farming Simulator 19 played on the Xbox One console. This is No Man's Land, episode number 3. Don't forget, folks, if you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button for me. Like and share this video and ring that notification bell. For now, this is JCTV saying, see you later.